Childhood star Jake Lloyd is best known for playing Anakin Skywalker and, of course, also starring in the criminally underrated Jingle All the Way. But his life has been rough since he starred in Star Wars Episode 1. So let's talk about the most recent wellness update on the actor, where he's currently at, and whether or not he actually hates Star Wars. So when it comes to Jake Lloyd, at a very young age, he became a big childhood actor, and obviously being thrown into the most famous franchise of all time in film certainly drew a lot of eyes on him. And as we know, ever since then, ever since episode 1 came out, he was bullied in school, he was treated bad, people would literally hit him while he walked by. Sometimes he would be walking down the street, people who hate the prequels would throw things at him, would yell at him, would show up at their house, at comic conventions. If they saw him, they would completely be disrespectful and say awful things to him. When he was streaming online, because he used to do Twitch and stuff, they would go in there and say the most awful things to him. And in case you missed what happened, he had a mental breakdown and became schizophrenic. And there's more involved to this. He literally sometimes would not know who he was. And he ended up having a giant mental breakdown during one of these sessions where he was really bullied, to the point where he ended up taking it out on his mom and family, and he ended up being, locked up in a mental facility. And his mom recently, for the first time in a long time, talked about his status and where he's at. And she says that it's been very rough, and he is really trying to get better, but it's one step at a time. And there's days that are way better and some that are way worse, but again, it's one step at a time. And she says that it's just one of those scenarios where now it's, it is what it is, and we just got to kind of take it one day at a time. And it's not really about hating Star Wars, which a lot of people say he does. She says it's not really about that, but it did change his life. And she says he loves Star Wars. He loves new Star Wars stuff. He keeps up with it and loves the franchise. But Star Wars just isn't a thing that's a factor in his life anymore, because, he's in a mental hospital being watched 24/7 because of his condition and what happened. And it's really unfortunate that this is the update we got to talk about in relation to Jake Lloyd today. And it just goes to show you that maybe as a fan base, we should be better. People shouldn't do this. And I've seen some of the same people talking about this tragedy, being like, look at what happened. The Star Wars fans are bad. Look at what they did. And these are the same Star Wars fans that are still doing it. And they're the ones that are like, what should happen? Miss Marvel, she should be off because I don't like that show. We got to do better, guys. The fans got to do better. A whole lot better.